less than 24 hours from the draft, and we are hearing all types of rumors. From Jalen Carter thinking the Eagles are going to draft him, to the Eagles' love for Paris Johnson Jr., and my man Bijan Robinson. What a draft 5 hat. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. We are less than 24 hours away from the draft. If you're like me, you ain't sleeping tonight. There is no way you're going to be sleeping. All you're going to be doing is thinking about what the Eagles are going to do, how they're going to do it, and when, how quickly it's going to happen. Now, we're hearing a ton of rumors, from Jalen Carter expecting the Eagles to take him, to Paris Johnson Jr. being Howie's crush, to Bijan Robinson coming to Philly. It all could happen. We have no idea, but we definitely got to talk about it. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe, to the most censored, the most throttled, Eagles content creator in all of the internet, and I mean the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, thank you so much for all the support you give to me. It truly means a lot. And we will be live, like I said, tomorrow for every second of this draft. It's going to be awesome. I got the draft 5 hat ready to go. My Matt Corral jersey for good luck is ready to go. Got to get up. Got to get a haircut. Got to get a shave. Got to look clean for tomorrow. We are going to be ready to go. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Now, I got to show you guys something. Shout out to Joe Castro, man. Shout out to Joe Castro, because Joe Castro, we all know, he is at the draft right now. And today, he was able to show Bijan Robinson a draft 5 hat. Joe Castro wrote this: asked Bijan what his backup number would be if he came to Philly. He said, "Man, I'll take whatever number they give me." Notice the Kobe shirt. And then notice the draft 5 hat. So he showed him draft 5 hat, shows up with Bijan Robinson. Shout out to Joe Castro for doing that, man. That's really, really cool. I think that's really cool that Joe did that. Shout out to him. Also, shout out to Digital Printhouse. He's the one that came up with the design, made the cap. So it's very cool for him, too. He said, the caps made it all the way to Bijan. Kind of wild. Philly 500 at Bijan Robinson, and Philly the podcast. So shout out to Digital Printhouse, man. He did a great job on the hats, and I'm glad that Bijan Robinson got to see it. Now, hopefully, we can actually make it happen. But that's really, really cool. Now, there are a lot of rumors going around, right? We've heard about the Eagles, and they're wanting to trade up. We've also heard about the Eagles possibly being a team that would trade back, maybe stay at 10. So we don't know. I really think it's going to depend how this draft falls. What if Houston throws a curveball and does not take a quarterback at 2? I think that presents a problem, because they're going to probably take Will Anderson Jr. That's going to move Jalen Carter up, and we're going to see. I think the apple of Howie's eyes is, of course, I think it's Jalen Carter. I think he would like to trade up for Jalen Carter. And Jalen Carter thinks the same thing. He told John Clark, I believe so. I asked Jalen Carter if the Eagles let him know if he's still there at 10, they would draft him. He says, I believe so. It would be crazy. Jalen Carter believes the Eagles are going to take him if he's at 10. Georgia defensive tackle prospect Jalen Carter is confident he will be taken in the top 10 of Thursday's NFL draft. Yes, sir, he said, per NFL media Eric Eldholm, I don't know how to say his name, when asked if he believes the Philadelphia Eagles will take him with the number 10th overall pick if he's still on the board. I believe that. So Jalen Carter believes that the Eagles are taking him. I believe that if he is there, they will. I believe the most likely scenario, in my opinion, is that the Eagles are going to trade up for Jalen Carter. That's what I think they're going to do. That's what I'm expecting from Howie Roseman. I have no issue with it. Of course, I love Bijan Robinson, but I cannot take Bijan Robinson over Jalen Carter. I've said this 1,000 times, and I'm sure when they take Jalen Carter, people say, you're upset that they didn't take Bijan. I'm going to say, no. The Eagles did what they had to do. You had to take Jalen Carter out of position. So I would totally understand it, totally get it, and I'm totally okay with if Jalen Carter's a guy. To me, if the Eagles come out with Will Anderson Jr., Jalen Carter, Bijan Robinson, or even Paris Johnson Jr., I am not going to be upset. I'm not going to be upset one iota. Now you say, why did I throw in Paris Johnson Jr. in there? Well, sounds like there are rumors tonight, and this could be a smokescreen, we just don't know, that the Eagles may be trying to get up in the draft to take Paris Johnson Jr. Dov Kleeman wrote this, update, Pound Eagles GM Howie Roseman has been talking to other teams the last few days about trading up in the draft in order to pick Ohio State's left tackle, Paris Johnson, per James Palmer TV. The Eagles currently hold the 10th and 30th pick overall draft picks. So, could the Eagles actually possibly try to trade up for Paris Johnson Jr.? I would not put it past Howie Roseman. Now, a lot of people are not going to like that pick. It would piss them off. Let's just be honest. A lot of people will not be happy. I would prefer Bijan Robinson over him, Jalen Carter, Will Anderson Jr., and if all three of those guys are off the board, my fourth pick would be Paris Johnson Jr. So, my draft board, Philly 500's draft board, would be Will Anderson Jr. 1, Jalen Carter 2, Bijan 3, and then Paris Johnson Jr. would be my fourth. He would be my fourth guy. So I personally wouldn't be that upset about this. And the reason why is because you would play him right at right guard immediately. You put him at right guard, you let him play next to Lane Johnson, and then when Lane is ready to move on, you push him out there to right tackle. Now you're secure with your right tackle spot the next 10 years. So I could not get mad at the Eagles if they did that. I like I said, I prefer to get Robinson. And then again, this could totally be a smokescreen. Are the Eagles really willing to trade up for him? That's the question. It's going to be interesting to see how this draft falls. If I had to guess, Will Anderson's going to, of course, go early. There's really no chance. The Eagles would have to give up too much to get him. Jalen Carter, if he gets past Seattle, and there's some rumors now that Seattle isn't going to take him, but if he gets past Seattle, he's in play for the Eagles. But I do think, most likely, Will Anderson will be off the board, Carter will be off the board, and Paris Johnson Jr. will all be off the board by 10, meaning the Eagles are going to have to move up for one of those guys. I can't see Jalen Carter or Paris Johnson Jr. getting past the Chicago Bears. I can't see that happening. One of those guys will be on the board maybe at 9. They're going to go. So the Eagles will have to move up for Paris Johnson Jr. or for Jalen Carter. There's no doubt about it. Bijan Robinson, I think he'll fall to them at 10. They could sit there at 10 and take him. They could trade back and maybe get him depending upon how far back they go. But it's going to be interesting. I think, and I say this, I've been saying this the whole long, I think you have to take one of the best players if you have an opportunity to. You're picking at 10. The idea is to get one of the most impactful players you can get. There's only really 4 or 5 guys that I think are those guys. I think Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, Paris Johnson Jr., and Bijan Robinson, because those guys come in and they play right away. Instant contributors. And I think that's a big, big deal. It's going to be a fascinating night. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long 3 days, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. In my dream perfect scenario, the Eagles would be able to land Jalen Carter and then trade back up at some point in the mid-first round and take Bijan Robinson. That would be like the perfect draft case for me if the Eagles could come out somehow with Carter and Robinson. I don't know if that's possible because I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know what to think about Atlanta taking Robinson. There's a lot of talk that the Falcons will take a running back. I can't see them doing that, though. Like, they need to focus on other pieces, don't you think? I mean, we don't even know if they really have a quarterback of the future yet. So, to me, I think they would be wasting their time going out there and getting themselves a running back in the top 10. But we just don't know. And we don't know what is real, what is a smokescreen. I think that Howie Roseman, if he has his choice, Jalen Carter would be his pick. That's the apple of his eye. And Jalen Carter talked about how much he looked up to Jordan Davis. And I think the fact that Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean are with the Eagles makes it a lot easier for the Eagles to to go ahead and draft Jalen Carter. So I think that the Eagles want Jalen Carter. I think that's the guy that they want to get. They're hoping to get. If they don't get him, then it's going to be interesting. Would a guy like Paris Johnson Jr. be the guy that they get? Would they go take Robinson? It's going to be interesting. I think that the Eagles are going to be very aggressive in the first round. I think most likely when it's all said and done, I think Howie Roseman is trading up. Most likely for Jalen Carter. And then, some people may not believe the Paris Johnson Jr. Thing that they want to trade up for him. I wouldn't be surprised, but we just don't know what's a smokescreen right now, what's not. We're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting. Cannot wait. With that said, let me know what you guys think. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna be taking off early tomorrow, so I might be putting out a bunch of videos. We'll see. It's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be busy. I got to go get a haircut and shave and look nice and presentable for the draft because Draft 5 is in play starting tomorrow. Cannot wait. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. You gotta wonder, like we could talk about all these names, but it's usually the names you're not thinking of, right? It's the guys that you hear less about that Howie Roseman makes a move on. I am so curious to see what he's going to do. I do wonder if he is going to look to trade one of those first-round picks, probably that 30th pick, for a guy like a Buda Baker or something like that. They did it last year with A.J. Brown and had great success. Will they do it again? Who knows? It's going to get crazy at this point. Denzel Washington out.